In this second episode of Crochet Basics, we are going to learn how to crochet half double crochets. Let's learn together. Welcome to Hooked Crochet by Monika Crochet Basics second episode. In the first one, we learned the very basics of how to choose yarn, how to choose our hooks. We learned how to do our slip knot, foundation chain, and single crochet. Today we are going to build on that knowledge and we are going to learn how to crochet half double crochets, which is one of my favorite stitches to crochet. But before we get started, I would like to invite you, if you like this video, if you learned anything from it, or if you just like listening to me talking in my Hungarian accent, please give this video a like. Subscribe to our channel, it doesn't cost you anything and it helps us out. Now let's grab our hooks and let's get started. So all we need is to grab our learner yarn, which should be light colored and a solid color, no multicolor ones. We will need our crochet hook and our best friend, some stitch markers. As I mentioned in episode 1, we already learned how to do a slip knot, a foundation chain, and a single crochet. Right now, I am going to review how to do a slip knot and a foundation chain, and then we are going to go ahead and learn how to do our half double crochet. For our slip knot, we position the tail in our palm, we wrap the yarn around our index finger. We take this loop, we are going to pull it over the first one, and then pull this one just over like that and pull our index finger through it, and we have a slip knot. Again, if this was a little bit too fast, I invite you to please go and watch our first episode where I slowly walk you through a slip knot and the foundation chain as well. So we are going to put our hook through this loop, and by pulling on the tail, we are going to close it. Now we are going to make 15 foundation chains. So the way we do a chain is that we wrap our hook around the yarn and we just pull through that loop, and we already made our chain. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So right now I am going to put a stitch marker in the 15th chain. Just slip it there and close it. We talked about how we start our rows by chaining because we want to bring our stitches up to height. In episode 1, again, I talk about this in detail. So right now for the half double crochet, we are going to need to chain 2 to begin a new row. So we are chaining 2, that was 1 and 2. We see that this is the stitch, the 15th stitch, where we need to work our first stitch of the second row in, because we put a stitch marker there, so it's really easy to identify it. So we are going to work our first half double crochet in this chain right there. So for a half double crochet, we are going to wrap the yarn around our hook, insert the hook in the stitch. We are going to wrap around the yarn the hook again. We are going to pull through that stitch, so we have 3 loops on our hook, and now we are going to wrap it around again and pull through all 3 loops, and we have our half double crochet. Now we can remove our stitch marker. We are going to mark this first stitch with a stitch marker because it is going to be a great help for us in a little bit. So we are going to just slip our stitch marker right in there. We marked the first stitch. So we now are going to work our second half double crochet in the next chain, which is right there, right in there. So we are going to wrap the yarn around our hook. We are going to insert the hook in our next stitch. We are going to wrap the yarn around our hook. We are going to pull through. We will have 3 loops on our hook. We are going to wrap around again, and we are going to pull through all 3 loops. And we have our second half double crochet. The next stitch is going to be worked in the next chain, which is right there. So we are going to wrap around, insert, wrap around again, pull up, wrap around again, and pull through all loops on the hook. Wrap around, insert, wrap around, pull up, wrap around, and pull through all loops on hook. Wrap around, insert in the next stitch, wrap around, pull up, wrap around, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. I love these stitches. I don't know why, but I just love them so much. Let's keep going until the very end of this row. I am going to do it slowly so you guys can see it. We are almost there. And this is our last one. And we can close this gap here by pulling on this short tail that we started with. So we are just going to gently pull on it, and it already closed that gap. So right now, to bring our stitches up to height again to start the next row, we are going to chain 2. So we're just going to go ahead and chain 2, and we are going to turn our work. Now these chains are just helpers, like a crutch. They do not count as a stitch. These are not stitches. They just help us to bring our stitches up to height. So the very first stitch is going to be worked right in here, which is the last one that we made in the previous row. So we are going to go ahead, insert our hook here, and just work a half double crochet right in there. So this stitch is the first stitch of our second row, which we are going to mark with a stitch marker. And as we get to the end of this row, you will see why the stitch marker is very helpful. So we are just going to go ahead and crochet our way down, making half double crochets. In the previous video, we also talked about the right side and the wrong side of our work, how to determine which is the right side and the wrong side. So if you would like to learn that, please go ahead and watch that first episode. And we are almost there. Okay, so we have this stitch marker right here. So we can see that we have one more stitch left in the previous row. So we need to work one more half double crochet in there. If we did not have this stitch marker here, then it would be so much harder to determine, is that the last stitch? Is that not the last stitch? Is that just a chain? And that could get us in all sorts of trouble, because if we are not sure which one our last stitch is, our work, the edge of our work, is not going to be straight. We are going to either add stitches and they just start going this way, or in other cases, we don't crochet enough, we don't crochet in every chain, and then it's just gonna get like shorter and shorter, and we will just end up with a triangle. This is just a helpful tip to use your stitch markers to mark the first and the last stitch of each row, and then you will have no problem. Let's do one more row so we can really see how beautiful these stitches are. So we are going to chain 2. We are going to turn our work, and at this point we can just so clearly see where our stitches are. So this is going to be our first stitch right there, and that's where we are working our half double crochet in. And we are just going to go down the whole row. There we are. We finished 3 rows. Look how beautiful, gorgeous these stitches are. If you would like to master single crochets, half double crochets, I suggest that you make a project that's about 15, 20 stitches long, 20 chains long, and you can just go as many rows as you would like until you feel comfortable and confident, when you don't need to think about anymore how to insert and wrap around and all that good stuff. And also, when you look at your work, you can see that all your stitches are nice and uniform. And that's the point when you mastered your stitches and you are ready to crochet an actual project. I hope you guys enjoyed learning one of my favorite stitches. Thank you for joining me for our Crochet Basics series, episode 2. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will do my best to answer them. And again, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next time. Happy crocheting!